Brian, there are a number of things that people should ask of their potential solar contractor to make sure that they're choosing the right one. And there's a lot of different solar companies that are out there, so trying to narrow it down to the one that's the best for you, can be difficult. So first, what are some of the maybe qualifications and certifications that a customer should look for in a solar installer?
Right. Yeah, that's a common concern or something that potential homeowners and business owners are looking for to make sure they're comfortable with their contractor and should be in all cases, right? So I'd say that first of all, you want to make sure that they're licensed and insured. That's something that's listed, for instance, on our home improvement contractor license and number is listed on our contract as well. And then we, of course, we're fully insured, and those our numbers are listed on our vehicles and such as well. But we'll provide that information at any time for home runs as well. So you want to make sure that they're registered with the state, licensed, insured, and then there are some other industry specific. There's NABCEP, and that's basically a certification that you've gone through some training specific to solar, and it's a nice to have thing, I would say. But really, one person in the company could have it as for sales or for installation or for engineering or a variety of different specializations, and then use that badge or qualification across the company, which is generally not the case. Generally speaking, the installers themselves aren't NABCEP certified across the board. So I think most important is that they're have a track record and being licensed and insured in the state that you're working in.
And then how can I assess a contractor's experience with, solar installations, especially here in Massachusetts?
You got to ask, right? So I guess straight up, asking out of the gate, and getting the response from the directly from the company is of course the first step. And but understanding that they can provide a home improvement or a general contractor's license and general liability, workman's comp insurances, things of that nature as well. But then there's also, I would say check out their website and what are they do they have customer testimonials on there? Are they talking about how many installations they have done or how long they've been in the state, things like that. There's also you can go through it's Mass Clean Energy Center has some data that you can actually search by the contractor's name and see how many actual installations that they have had in the state as well. So you can get a good indication there. Sometimes it's a little tricky because certain names, right? They have different. They might be like ourselves as a DBA doing business as. So there's some of that. So ask your contractor, and they can point you in that direction and make sure that you're searching the name correctly as well. But there's state resources there as well, and of course, looking at the having them provide furnished photographs of their work and their installations, as well as speaking to any current customers.
Yeah, you mentioned customer testimonials. Are testimonials and references maybe something that you should ask your contractor for?
Absolutely, we get asked that a lot. So we've over the years become really proactive with that, and we have a map of all of our installations with pins with the customer name and address and a photo of their installation. And we have a lot of customers who have volunteered to be solicited references so that we can just provide their names to potential new clients, and that they can reach out to that homeowner and learn how their experience was with us and how their solar system is performing. So we certainly do that. Is also Google reviews is probably the most common place folks are looking for that. There are some other um, online reviews. I mean, there's a variety of different ones that have popped up, but I think specific to our industry, there's a handful. Unfortunately, a lot of times those are owned by big national solar companies and kind of put themselves as the number one installer in the state and such. But so I think Google seems to be the most trusted, and then otherwise, asking the contractor to point you in the places that they tell or ask their customers to put reviews and testimonials.
And then similar to that would be, case studies. Are asking for case studies, is that an important consideration as well? And, if you were asked for case studies of like maybe similar projects to mine, would you be able to provide those?
Sure, we do, right? So these systems have become more and more complex over the years as other peripherals with solar. We're talking about energy storage with batteries and smart panels and smart home connectivity. A lot of the connectivity, the app interfaces, and the control of a full energy system with solar. There's more going on, and so sure, we have a variety of case studies that we can point customers to. So if a customer is looking at a particular type of project, we can say, okay, in your area, we have customer X, Y, and Z, similar system size, or a similar type of project, similar home layout, similar whatever the case may be, and say, for them, they were able to cut their electric bill by 70% or 100%, or they're fully able to go off the grid with energy storage system and a backup capabilities. And so whatever the kind of the alignment is with the current client, looking at the options that they're considering, we can certainly align them with a case study with the current customer that gives them an indication of how things would work for them.
Yeah, and then what about like project timelines and their your sort of like approach to project management? Would that be something that you'd want to discuss with a potential contractor as well, so that I know that my project is going to be done within a certain time frame?
I think expectations are really important, and having them clearly defined and outlined. So I would certainly want to ask my contractor in any project, especially solar, and something that I haven't gone through before. I certainly think that's a great question to ask your contractor. We handle it in our own way, and other companies handle it in their own way. So for us, I think it's a really transparent process. We provide kind of the timeline and expectations in writing to all of our customers. We manage everything in house, so we have a lot more control, and as well as response, right? So we know when a customer's like, "Hey, where are we at?" We know where it's at, and we can respond to that immediately. So we also have a variety of teams, right, working on one project. So as this comes in, it would be the consultant or sales rep who's consulting with the homeowner, and then they become a customer, and then it's going to go into the site, the drone, the site inspection phase, and not we try to keep we have a communication and timelines and expectations, and we all talk to each other. So that's, I think, important as well. It's not like we're just selling a project, to a customer and then trading that off to a subcontractor to do the project management, and then another subcontractor to install it, and then another subcontractor to do the service. We're doing all that in-house. It's the same folks working on your project throughout, and we know where that's at. So I think us being able to control the expectations, timeline, and be able to provide that information to customers in real time is a huge deal. And I think it creates a much better customer experience. And then, the customers respond to that in a really positive fashion.